Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to WCS European Challenger Season 3. We are here for our last season of Challenger here in 2018. My name is Fear Dragon, and I am joined by In Control here at the Blizzard Arena. How you doing today?
Good. I'm good. I'm happy to commentate some StarCraft. You know, has it been a week or two already since, I mean, you know, let's get this going. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been like 2 months since Challenger specifically. But
Well,
I know you, of course, had Valencia,
Yes.
GSL versus the World that was happening recently, all kinds of awesome StarCraft events. But this is, of course, our first return to Challenger in a while. And, of course, if you haven't really remembered how exactly Challenger goes,
How's it go,
we
Robbie?
got the refreshers for you.
Whoa!
It's 16 players are going to be qualifying into Challenger. They've already, in fact, qualified into 4 groups of 4 players. And, of course, 8 of these players are going to be making it out to a single elimination playoffs later on in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. You know, we haven't changed anything. You might be wondering, are we going over this because something's changed? No, actually, it's exactly the same.
No, I mean, if you don't do this, though, do you know the chaos that happens for the people?
That's very true.
What's the format? It's the same as, like, I don't remember.
But of course, the prize pool is also going to be exactly the same. It's $10,000 on the line, $1,600 for first place. And even the players that get knocked out here today and coming in last place are still going to be walking away with $400. And of course, those WCS points, Jeff. This is the last season of Challenger. We're encroaching on the last WCS event of the year. These are important.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, the big stops is kind of what gets a lot of the attention, but don't forget about this tournament of itself. We saw that a couple hundred points there for first place in Challenger, and that is, you know, again, it's funny because you look at it and you win, I think it's 3,000 if you win a stop, right? Which obviously seems BlizzCon anyways, but it's oftentimes those couple hundred, those few tens that actually decide the final few players that go to BlizzCon, which nobody really talks about this, but even just going, you win, what is it? To place last place at BlizzCon is like $5,000, I think.
It's pretty solid. It's
huge.
A pretty decent amount of money. And
like
on
3 challengers, you could win all 3 challengers to get less money.
And you were talking about how close a lot of these WCS points end up being toward the end of the year. I mean, it's been multiple times that we've had literal exact point ties.
Yeah.
So even getting 150, 10 points, whatever, makes a huge difference in just overcoming your opponent. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the players we're going to be seeing today. Today we will be watching Group A for both EU and NA. But starting with EU, we got, of course, Snute versus Namshar as that first match. We're going to be moving on to a Laser versus Stefano. From there, we're going to be moving on to the losers match, the winners match, and then that decider match to see who are the last players to make it out of the group.
All Zergs, and it's a tragic one as Stefano has been absolutely plagued by the ZvZ matchup. His ZVT, ZVP is top-notch. But it feels like him winning a Zerg versus Zerg is more of a rare occurrence by his own admission and of course by results. Then the rest of the group's really interesting too because we have Namshar who's been caught on fire, and in the ZvZ matchup in particular, Snute, who is obviously one of the consummate names of the scene, and then a Laser who there's a little bit of a question mark of. You know, Laser last year was without question top 2 non-Korean on planet Earth, but now I don't know. I don't think so. Certainly not top 2, but top 5 is starting to kind of become an argument a little bit.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Especially, I know Namshar had a really sick run and during last season of Challenger, making it all the way to the finals. And it's so funny. I almost feel like taking a game off of Cyril is almost as notable as making it to the finals. But he took a game off of Cyril that definitely is a testament to his ZvZ. But we're going to be seeing him in a moment facing off versus Snute, who I was talking with Snute. Snute not really feeling too confident right now in the ZvZ. Now, of course, that's also
Snute.
typical. That's typical Snute, right?
Snute.
But at the same time, I love that Namshar moved in and said he's feeling confident. He's feeling really good. And really, his question is not, will I make it out of the group? It's, can I make it out in first?
Yeah, and with good reason, like I said. I mean, that European scene has crafted some amazing ZvZ players. We saw Namshar Namshar now, but a Laser in the past. And then it just feels like if you're going to be a Zerg that's successful in Europe, you have to either be a superstar like Stefano, or you need to be very good at ZvZ. And right now, that's Namshar.
All right. Well, our first map is going to be Asset Plant for the ZvZ to get things kicked off with. And of course, reminder that also for NA, if you love ZvZ, we got more ZvZ for you in the NA group. We got 3 Zergs and Neeb for the NA portion of the broadcasts.
And of course, the big question mark there is, can Neeb make it out? And I'm not even being facetious or weird. He's got Silky in that group, who eliminated him the previous Challenger season, but he's just also been struggling, and he is in Korea playing against these guys who are going to be here. So it feels like anytime there's a little bit of a hang-up like that, I think, guys, the safe money is that we don't see Neeb maybe making out of the group. That would be crazy.
You think he wouldn't make it? I think he'd still make it out
you.
in second at least.
I would hope. I'm a huge Neem fanboy. I've been saying that, but like this combo, man, I'm telling you, I'm sensing something dark.
All right. Well, we're going to find out as we hop into the game and introduce these players. We're going to be starting up here in the top left-hand corner of the map. Top of that red Zerg player, he is your very own Namshar. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map in not a Team Liquid clan. It is your very own Team Liquid Snute. That threw me off for a second.
Yeah.
What is that? E-Wolves?
I have no idea.
I guess there are always
E-Wolves Liquid Snute.
E-Wolves Liquid Snute. I feel like there's always those random players that love having those like meme clans. You have Scarlet who has, oh god, I can't remember what it, she's had some pretty weird clans.
Is Roddy in E-Wolves? And I don't know what this is. Maybe it is just a group of friends doing something weird, or maybe it's a stream team. There is that, but Snute doesn't really stream.
Snute streams. I think he used to stream more, but he hasn't streamed for a bit now. I'm not sure if we have
in-game sounds production.
No, we got all this stuff here.
Listen, quiet. You hear that?
I hear static. I hear nothing.
Okay, yeah. Because there's gonna be a moment here where I'm like, you hear stuff, Ravi?
Look, Jeff,
what do you hear, bud?
I asked for the sounds, and you didn't turn the rehearsal, so.
No.
All right, well, we do have pretty normal openings coming from both of these players. You see, you got the hatch first, you got the gas geyser.
Can you make the sound? Oh, dang it.
Oh.
If I had asked you that, though, what would it sound like? What does a Zerg base sound like?
The Zerg base, like, just the building of random things. You have like.
That's it, yes.
You have like the pop,
that's
the pop of
yes.
a spawning pool.
Perfect. All right, well, guys, get on that. We can get a voice pack of Ravi.
Okay.
All right.
Notable though, nope, never mind. For a moment I was like, Namshar about to encroach in on 100 gas, and sometimes you'll have those Zerg players that say, you know what, I don't actually need Zergling speed, but no, both of them are just gonna play it out very safe and standard.
That would be the odd decision, I think. The 100 gas doesn't get applied super awesome here.
Yeah.
Otherwise. You can go layer for like really fast roaches with speed, I suppose, but even that has some weird...
I'm in a weird mental place with just like watching Zerg build right now, because I came from Cheesadelphia where I watched True win that, and then of course I watched WCS and Z Challenger last night where I watched Mio Micah basically being Haas.
That'll all do that to you. But I assure you this will get a little bit more standard. As you can see in the production tab here, it is just about a mirror image. Now it is. The only thing that was different was a couple of lings being made. But both players go to that Baneling Nest, and it's always kind of fun to look at where the Baneling Nest goes. For Namshar, it's at the front of his natural. Both players taking the frontal third, by the way, and I've had some Zergs break this down for me, and this usually flags, and it's almost very... I don't know what the success rate is. Obviously, I haven't crunched those numbers just yet, but I will. I promise you, Ravi, I will. But when you build the base there, it's supposed to be, hey, I'm going to roaches and I'm coming after you. When both players do it, I guess they both say, hey, we're building roaches and we're coming after each other, so look for that.
Okay, well, they're going to be starting off with at least a few of these Banelings for safety precaution reasons, as we do have a few Banelings being made defensively for Namshar. Snute? Okay, he's not going to be skipping them for too long.
No, but still just drones, right? So he's just making them defensively in his own right as well. There's some lings here poking to the third because you just basically have to do that. That is the person agreement between Zerg players. Like, well, I'm going to pressure your third and see if I can get some more lings out. But both players not really falling for it. A few more lings coming out for Namshar. But this is always weird, too, because I feel like you're playing at the Snute game when you do this. You're like, hey, let's just both macro up and see where this goes. And I feel like that's going to give Snute a little bit of a comfort zone here.
Yeah, Namshar going for the faster Evo chamber along with some of those lings you were talking about, but also going back into drones and really delaying that roach horn compared to Snute, who is going into all those roaches that you were talking about, Jeff. And this is where things maybe start to get a little bit scary, because especially with this kind of third base location. I mean, if Snute can just move across the map pretty quickly with his roaches, then it's going to be pretty difficult for Namshar to defend with just the pure lings.
Yeah. Not a super big lean in, though. It is drones out behind this, his own second Evo chamber, I believe, in a fast layer. So this is that, or maybe that's the first
I think
chamber.
the first one, yeah.
Sure, but it's just that ebb and flow of ZvZ where You build this because, by the way, this timing attack is so scary. The pre-lair, just pump out a bunch of roaches, maybe make some banelings behind that to make sure that lings don't get a surround around you. It's the kind of timing attack that does just flat out end the game. A little bit sloppy there from Namshar as he loses some lings. But as you can see, Snute's going to pull back, gets the reaction he wants a little bit. I always, whenever Zergs, like that kind of attack comes out and they build like 4 roaches but then go back to making 10 drones, a little bit of me feels like this is like a Top Gun moment, like both players are dog fighting and they're just like, no, I don't believe in your gambit. But then you see so many ZvZs end where they're like, no, I don't believe it. But then it is 25 roaches and they're like, well, I should have believed it.
I feel like all the mirror matchups, they're so... What?
It just changed too fast, Ravi. This game is moving at speeds that even the game itself is struggling with.
But doesn't that mean that the game is...
Game paused.
Yeah, that means that the game has been moved from faster to fast. That's actually a problem.
You know what?
What?
It might have been me, actually.
You didn't even have your hands on the keyboard, though.
No. So they're next to the keyboard, and I moved, and I think I hit the plus sign on the numpad. Did that actually change it?
Yeah, the plus and minus keys.
What? Oh, Ravi, I've been fired. So it's just you and Zombie Grub for the rest of the weekend.
Oh, well, that's...
I'm sorry, and I did not mean to do that, everybody. But I've been banned from Blizzard events, as I understand it, for the next 6 years.
Well, you know, I would stand up for you and put in a good word, try and undo this. But, you know, after season 1 and how you treated me, I can't.
It's only fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah. A few months now.
Okay.
It's my... And here's the... You know what? Now that I've been caught, let me just kind of come out and say it. I changed the speed on purpose because I want this ZvZ to last even longer.
Can I change the speed back?
Did you?
I just changed the speed back. Do you want to unbind the hotkey really quickly so we don't?
How do you even do that? No, I don't want to. Like, let's let this game go, and then afterwards we can. Just not gonna touch the keyboard, guys.
Go.
Sorry, that's me. That's.
Am I the referee? I can't. I should not be trusted with this power.
This is that homebrew feel.
3, 2,
WCS
1.
Challenger.
I mean, this is why I host events, is that I'm prepared for this moment in WCS.
You know, I used to be a competitor, and just a little part of me was like, I don't like them playing so fast. Back in my day, fast APM was about 120. No big deal.
In your defense also, I think that like a bunch of the hotkeys or random other like settings are different.
I've never done that. Yeah, I literally hit the plus sign on the num on accident, and it... Well, it must have not been the plus sign. It must have been the minus, I guess, right?
Yeah, the minus, which is like
That's actually a
smaller.
sick idea, though. The game's getting a little bit boring. I just jack it up. I think there is nothing faster than faster, though, right?
Yeah,
is there fastest?
There is. We're on fastest.
Yeah, everyone plays the fastest, though.
Yeah.
I wish that'd be funny.
You could play in faster.
Why isn't there a faster speed? The fastest.
I wonder if that you could make that like a mod in the game.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Well, no, maybe not. But yes, you should. And then, dude, advertise that. Be like, you know what? Who has time for a 10-minute StarCraft 2 game? In my mod, most games take about 38 seconds.
You know, that's a really good point, Jeff, because with 7 Zergs today, our day is going to be too long.
Crank it up. Just jack up that speed button. Get this thing done in 10 minutes.
Well, speaking of speed, we do have speed finished up over here for Snute as he's moving across the map with all of those roaches. Lurkerden on the way for Namshar, but
he's dead.
Is he? Yeah, he doesn't really seem to have quite as large of an army. He still has something, but
you know what though? You know what the Destiny's Child told me?
What?
Almost doesn't count.
Is that really a song?
Yeah. I just don't know if it's Destiny's Child, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
It could have been Britney Spears. It kind of all blurs together there.
That's fair enough. I mean, there's a sick concave going on over here for Namshar. He has a defender's advantage, but still Snute seems to be taking the dominating edge in these engagements, and now he's starting to kill off a couple of the drones, hindering that gas mining. I mean, things are looking better and better for Snute, but is Namshar going to be able to pull anything out here?
No, he's going to be able to pull out the lost screen here in just a few moments. It is a nigh on 70 supply advantage, and Snute is going to crush forward here. The micro is insane. Namshar taps out. Thank you, Rapid.
All right, so Snute takes the first game, and honestly, while it's not a huge surprise, Snute is obviously a very high caliber player.
But
I was actually expecting Namshar to be taking this series. And now,
That's right.
only game number 1, of course, but Namshar has just been looking so good off of his last season finish.
Yep.
You were talking about ZvZ. Snute's obviously going to be feeling pretty happy about that, I'm sure.
It's just a best of 3. We're used to a lot of best of 5s in Legacy of the Void. So in a short series like this, to take the first game, especially this way too, by the way, it's not like Snute pulled out some really redonkulous all-in or something like that. This is that very standard ZvZ timing attack. There's just a few Ravagers behind a bunch of Roaches after 3 bases. But on a medium-ish sized map like this, and with the where they took their bases, Snute was just sneaking in a few more rounds of Roaches, and there's just not enough time to recover. It's not like he showed up with 60 supply more, and we were just like, this is silly, this is over. He showed up with about 20, 25 supply more, but in a ZvZ, when you both are making the same stuff, you have very similar upgrades, that's all it takes.
Yeah, it's the small things. Getting up that Roach Warren a bit earlier, whereas Namshar went for the faster Evolution Chamber, but I mean, the faster Evo Chamber didn't turn into like a really fast +2 weapons that finish before the big attack or anything. And then also investing into the Lurker Den there for Namshar was, of course, another investment in saying, okay, getting up the Hydra Den, getting up the Lurker Den, let's go into these Lurkers. But they didn't actually have any Hydras there. He didn't really have any of the Lurkers and all that tech that he invested into.
Well, you know, it's funny, too, because the ZvZ matchup, it definitely has very nice micro moments in it. Landing those Corrosive Biles and, of course, getting the Concaves, like you mentioned during the broadcast, are all big deals. But at this high level between a player like Namshar and Snute, they're both doing those things. So if you just have the bigger army, the likelihood that your Corrosive Biles just nail 10 Roaches out of nowhere and can make up the difference in supply is very little. Whereas in a lot of other matchups, and I think if TVT is, I guess, the prime example, a lot of times when that gets to be high-paced, you both can have the same tools, same upgrades, same stuff, but 6 medevacs of stuff landing on top of a production, you could be down 50 supply and win a game from there, right? Or even just having 5 more tanks in your opponent, even though they're up in supply, but those tanks have splash damage, and there's not really that much micro you can do against those if they're in a good spot. So that kind of stuff. So ZvZ, a lot of times when you hear the Zerg players talk about it, it's a lot of them not their favorite because they can be the better player, but just get caught off guard by something like this.
Yeah, it's harder to find those edges in the engagements themselves. You have to find the edges in other places of how you kind of macro and make your builds work. But of course, that makes you such a great master of ZvZ. There is a giant insect on that screen back there.
That's a cockroach.
That's a cockroach? Really?
And I'll tell you what, right now, they do not like that we're pointing out that there's a cockroach on the wall. But it's kind of cool to see how it would interact on the green screen, because...
Yeah, that's what I'm really waiting for.
It's not big enough for the camera.
No, I think it moved too high up. I don't think it's going to come in on the camera.
It's heading towards Snute's head.
I like that they're doing like the personal zoom-in shots.
This is not our fault, by the way. There's no lobby. We have not been invited to a lobby. So
yeah, we're just waiting.
When commentators don't have a lobby to get into, they start talking about cockroaches.
I'm pretty sure we're delaying the games by talking about these.
No, I just now got the invite.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Literally nothing to delay.
All right. Well, game number 2 is coming on up. Again, Snute can be leading up this series 1-0. You were talking about this. It's a best of 3 for all of these matches here today in the group stages. So Namshar might be in a situation where he might be going down to that loser's match if he loses this next game as well. And that last game, while of course it was because of a lot of, I would say, like the builder choices and how Namshar was playing things out, the little edges, Snute looked like he had a pretty dominant hold on that particular game.
Yeah. I want to help you, Robbie, but it was just a bunch of Roaches and Ravagers showed up, and and he just died. They both were doing exactly the same thing. There is no huge slip up that I can see here. I'm sure there's some superb Zerg versus Zerg aficionado in the chat that can please inform me if I missed something. But for the most part, just a couple cycler Roaches showed up, and that was it.
Well, I trust your analysis, Jeff. As the number cruncher in a matchup that you just said, it's all about the numbers.
Well, if you think about it, everything's about the numbers. Have you seen Binary? Have you seen the Matrix? Like everything's written in code?
As a software developer, actually I have.
You have
That's how I actually look at everything on a daily basis.
Interesting. Do you know the character, the architect in the Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's based after me.
Really?
No. But it'd be pretty cool.
I would have believed it.
Where do these banners come from, by the way? Everyone's got a cool banner. I don't got a cool banner. Oh, they're not showing the... Never mind.
Everyone starts with the banner. These are the starting banners.
Yeah, but where do you get the cool ones?
Oh, the war chest.
So I've unlocked everything in the war chest. Where is it?
You have to go equip it.
But is it like in each node, you know how you unlock a new skin? Is one of those a banner? Is that what you're saying? Or you just have a banner?
You know, I actually don't know. I don't actually remember. And the other thing is the war chest has 3 phases, right? So maybe something you unlock later.
No, these guys... No, actually, oh, previous war chests is what you're saying.
No. This current war chest.
But there's other banners, is what I'm saying.
By the way, guys, there is a wonderful war chest out there, and I think that we'll be playing some ads for it, but...
skins are the best.
They deserve
people are hating on the
sick ones.
They're cool, but people are hating on the Protoss one. I think it's the best we've ever had.
You know, M-canning with a golden disruptor has never looked better.
Why you gotta bring up M-canning? Why not in control? I've been laddering. No, it's
but I've been watching your stream. You've just been making Dark Templar.
Yeah,
and Golden Dark Templar is like the opposite of what you want because they just stand out more.
They're awesome.
All right, spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the red Zerg player. He is Namshar. And spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have our blue Zerg player from Team Liquid. He is Snute, sitting up 1-0. His best of 3.
He's getting early pooled a little bit too.
Yeah, do you know the exact supply for that pool?
I did not see it, but it doesn't strike me as a scary one.
Yeah, he's still getting a pretty quick expansion and everything behind it, so...
I actually kind of question it a little bit, because it's like, yeah, okay, it's 6 lings. I don't think he'll, maybe 8, maybe 10 type of thing, but no gas behind it, or late gas rather.
Yeah.
So I want to see what this does, because what build are you hoping for? Like, Snute's is about to finish here. He'll start up his queens. Zergs standardly get about 2 to 4 lings just by themselves anyways, and these 6 lings will show up and what? Bleed the natural a little bit?
Ooh, okay, the fact that he's hiding these makes me think that he may be thinking about... I could be totally wrong on this, I'm prepared for that. But he could be skipping speed or something, going for a bailing? No, he wouldn't skip speed, right? Oh man, I'm doing the bold thing. I'm trying to make predictions right now, but...
Yeah, never in a ZvZ.
Yeah.
You missed that. If you were a commentator in Wings of Liberty, you would know by now to wait until the other commentator says something bold.
Yeah, he's just going to send them straight through the center and send them straight over to his opponent. So might be able to... Actually does get a drone kill. Hey, that's not too bad. He is going to lose all of these lings, but killing off a drone is not too bad.
And he's still just equal in workers. So this is where we do, you know, I wish the scene had a few more Zerg commentators because I feel like there is a bullet being dodged here. I'm just not quite sure which one. You know,
I mean, I could see
Snute's opening is hatch first, followed by a pool. Like, he did not do anything weird or egregious, so that is, like, the meta opening. And what Namshar did essentially nothing. Yes, he got a drone, but it shouldn't have, right? If he pulls back that drone, it never dies in a million years.
I imagine that it's probably to help deal with something like... Are you still looking for that cockroach?
They are, too. Like, the staff is circling around and stuff. Like, there's a ZvZ on the screen and a ZvZ IRL.
There you go, man. It's that inspiration. It came on the right day, but yeah, I was gonna say, like, maybe against like a 12 pool or something, if there's, or like a 13,
but even
12.
even then, because it's a defensive opening, but you're doing that against a niche opening opponent.
Maybe it's because he's down 0-1.
Well, here's the thing, Robbie. I'm a little bit sad that you're even trying to predict what it could be.
Oh,
I think the answer is we both don't know.
Yeah. All right, Baneling connections there for Snute. One of them is pretty decent, the other one not so great. And Namshar is going to have enough lings to start swarming across the map. The Queen's very far out, chasing after one of those Overlords. He's not quite able to get it either. Ooh, the Queen gets surrounded before that kill. That's going to be pretty annoying.
He's going to have his own lings kind of pop out here, but I'm a little bit... Because he saw the lings mid-map and then did not even... I guess the Queens were just like, oh my god, that flank. Very nicely done.
Oh, no.
The
All right.
counter flank!
Evened up.
Both players, and here comes, Nam's just going to lean into this a little bit more.
Snute has a few more lings out, though, I think, than Namshar at the moment, and...
They're about equal in supply.
Yeah.
Actually, just now they are dead equal in supply.
All right, Snute going to be the first one to make it his way to his opponent's side of the map. Kills off a Queen of his own. He's going to end up losing some of these lings.
I feel like an awesome moment for animation would be... Because there's that desperate...
Oh, God.
It happened again. The desperation inject, you know, when a queen's about to die, she just reaches over and taps the hatch like, you have my eggs. One last time. It happens all the time.
They commit. Yeah, did you ever read that? There was like a comic on Team Liquid called like The Happy Ultralisk or something.
Yeah. I think I did.
I always think about that whenever I think about queens doing their last inject.
Yeah.
Very, very good read if you guys have a chance. Go Google it. All right. Oh, God. I mean, this...
Or Yahoo it. Why does everyone say Google it, you know? Ask Jeeves.
When was the last time you used Yahoo?
Never. Isn't it amazing some of the things?
I thought you were going to say, like, Bing or something.
No, I never have. And the funny thing is, too, is if you've ever tried, because I definitely did as a kid. You know, you hit that, like, computer lab computer at your high school, and I was like, oh, it's got Bing on it. And you search for something, you're like, this is horrible, because it took 2 seconds longer and came up with weird things.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled.
We are spoiled.
All right, Ling's
some scouting here. No layers spotted.
Yeah, but I think he, did he see
Did he,
the
though?
Roach Warren?
Did you just pause the game?
I did not pause the game.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, actually, that...
No, I got a disconnect screen on my...
I am disconnecting.
This has been...
Well, you know, Jeff,
quite the
you're
day.
slowing down the game. I'm disconnecting from the game. It's just a very active day today.
Mine's different, though. Yours, you are blameless. Mine, I hit that keyboard. I did it on... I felt it, and it was like... saw the game speed change. I'm like, well, that's me, I guess. Yeah, so the Lings kind of scout in there. They didn't see a lair.
They didn't see a lair, and that's specifically important because we had Snute going for his own lair, and I think also skipping his own Roach Warren right now. Whereas Namshar is going for the Roach Warren and skipping the lair. So that is kind of an important note. That's why I'm assuming that not seeing the lair, you're going to be thinking, okay, there's probably maybe a Roach Warren coming down or something along those lines. I haven't seen a massive flood of Lings or Banelings that are also on the map right now. So
should we hit the surrender button and get out of this?
I mean, never give up, never surrender, Jeff. I
don't
know, actually. Oh, you have it too. Oh,
yes.
I thought it was just me.
No. And quite literally, we should actually hit surrender as opposed to never hitting it.
I mean, I've already hit it.
The game will actually not be allowed to
don't slow down the game. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Sure.
I don't know. You were touching your mouse. Last time you touched your mouse, stuff happened.
Robbie. It's going to be me that gets yelled at for not laughing at your jokes, but you make it so hard to laugh at your jokes. God.
It's okay. I can laugh at my own jokes.
Someone has to.
Yeah, I know Zombie Grub won't. Actually,
yeah.
Zombie Grub has, like, told me repeatedly, like, you make so many bad jokes on the broadcast. Like, when I finally get a chance to be on a WCS broadcast with you, I'm just going to stare you down. I'm just not going to laugh. I'm not going to give in.
I hope she does, but it'll still be me that gets the tweets. It'll be like, you know, I see what Zombie's doing, but Jeff told her to or something. I'll be like, how do they know? Yeah. So sorry, guys. Yeah, a little bit of a disconnect. And this is that awkward thing during your broadcast where we're not being told what's going on or anything like that. So we're just going to play it by ear. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we can... The nice thing is that Battle.net's in a spot where even if something like this happens, you just reload it up. It's unfortunate for the players because it's a little bit of an emotional pump of the brakes because they can't keep going. But we should be able to get back into the game here fairly soon. That's the hope. We're already being invited.
All right.
You're told to check your audio settings, I guess, if you haven't.
Oh, check the audio settings?
Mr. Producer Man in the ear's been saying it repeatedly.
Oh, okay. I have not heard that. I've been hearing everything else, though. Oh, wow,
It might come to me is what they're saying.
I mean, they just trust you a little more. You're a little more reliable with the production stuff.
No. Ravi, this is like doing a broadcast with my dad or something like that. It's like,
I just have to keep hitting the same joke over and over again.
I'm sure there's someone out there, like, Rapid would laugh at all your jokes. He would. Have you ever cast with him?
Yeah.
He'd laugh at all of them.
You know, I think he ignored some of them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it just kind of left me a little high and dry, and I was like, oh, my, I thought it was...
Is there anyone that laughs at all of them?
Tempo. Tempo laughs at all my jokes.
Heck yeah, man. Tempo laughs at all
Tempo's always got my back.
Yeah, he does. You guys did a great job at Cheeseadelphia.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, well, I don't actually know what I'm supposed to do with my audio settings, and I'm also still entering the lobby, so...
That was my sabotage again. I guess he was telling me in case we lost you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it. Makes sense. Well, as soon as I get into the lobby, I think we're going to be ready to get started again, and we'll be resuming from replay. Should be a good time. I guess just since we are here and we have to spend a little time just talking for a bit, we can talk about the rest of the other players in the group. We got a Laser and Stefano. I think we kind of talked a little bit about it. Kind of funny, I was talking with a Laser and he was saying that he actually wasn't feeling that great about ZvZ.
Yeah.
He's still expecting to make it out of the group. I think he still has high hopes for himself and everything, but he doesn't seem super confident right now.
Yeah, I think this year of WCS has been really interesting with Cyril hogging the top and squeezing it, and he's just going to keep doing that, probably even into Montreal, even if they were to ban him from it or something like that. With that happening, it's shortened up the scene, and we're starting to see some of these European players get a little bit better results. Because again, last year it was just a laser. Like, it was only him and a couple others that were even standing up to like Neeb for the most part. But Laser won a WCS stop last year as well. So it's a different scene this year, and it's been a little bit hard on their confidence, I think, for a lot of these guys. If you hear a lot of them, they talk about it that way.
Yeah, poor Stefano, man. Just struggling with the ZvZ and then getting launched into a group with 3 Zergs. But you know what? The optimistic way of looking at it is that he only had to worry about improving his ZvZ. There is nothing else on his mind. There's no, like, okay, there's no, like, other path to victory that you see, like, okay, maybe I can just, like, beat one Protoss player in a group or something. You're like, okay, I have to solve this problem here and now. It's the end of the year. This is happening.
I hear you, and I definitely don't disagree. He only had to practice ZvZ, but it's just tough because this is not a group of, like, first-time Zergs. This is Snute, Laser, and now Namshar, who would be that Zerg where Stefano could, in the past, be like, yeah, I can beat a Namshar. But even Namshar in the ZvZ matchup has just done so well this year. And then Snute and Laser, I think on their worst days, are still top Zergs, especially in the ZvZ matchup. So I don't mean, I think that's half the reason they bring me on these broadcasts is to be like, Jeff, tell them why they shouldn't be excited. Because I'm a gigantic Stefano fanboy. He's one of my absolute favorite players to follow, and he's just an amazing guy. But this group is just very much so engineered to be terrible for him. And I'll tell you what's even worse. If Snute can actually continue to beat Namshar and Namshar falls that loser match, that's not the opponent you want in the loser match. Not that either of the the other options are any better, but yeah, it's a rough group. It's tough for Stefano.
Okay, well, we're going to move back on to Lost and Found. The game is now resuming from replay, and in just a bit of a moment's time, we got to play a little bit of catch up on that game, but should be a fun one. Besides that, we of course have the NA broadcast later on today, and we mentioned that there are going to be 3 Zergs there. Actually, what I think is going to be a lot of fun there is we got Neeb, who's our only Protoss player that's playing, the only non-Zerg that's playing today. And then we got Silky, who beat Neeb last season of Challenger, which is super duper cool that they landed up in the same group. And then you got Starkiller, who I think is like, one of those up and coming NA Zerg players. And then you got Antis, who is literally like the guy that a lot of people just don't know very much about.
The dark horse.
He is the most dark horse that I think exists in the like current season of Challenger right now.
Because you were talking about this earlier, but he's not even like a blossoming, oh my god, he's 6,300 MMR on the ladder type of guy. He's like, he's actually around my level. He just qualified. He did a great job, and if he can keep that dream alive, because it's not like this group's impossible, right? ZvZ against Starkiller and Silky perhaps, that's not bad.
All right, well, we're finally back into the game, and just to recap, Namshar had made that Roach Warren, whereas Snute skipped the Roach Warren and went straight up to his lair, is now actually going to go straight up to a very quick Spire off of no Roach Warren whatsoever. So if Namshar can catch wind of this, he's going to get very aggressive with his Roaches, but remember, there is that small timing window for it.
Well, I'm looking at that production tab, I'm a little bit concerned. Those were some Roaches coming out with Lings behind it. Usually if it's Lings and Roaches, that's aggressive. You very rarely make Roaches with Lings purely defensively, and he's coming across the map now making some banelings, so yeah, Namshar's gonna lean into this.
Oh boy. Yeah,
it comes at a rough time because the Roaches are a problem anyways, but Lings and banelings, of course.
Oh wow, that's a lot of banelings right now for Snute, which is not exactly what he wants to be doing right now because he wants that gas from mutas. He's not even gonna be able to make many mutas after this anyways.
Well, he is about as dead as they come. Dragon.
Okay, well,
you can hype this up. You can hype it up.
Yeah, that's
super, super dead.
Yeah, he just lost 21 workers. He's still surprisingly only down 2 workers, and the Spinecores are helping out a bit. He kills off the Ravagers that were actually morphing in. He's getting some time to make some more Lings. You know what, Jeff? I'm not gonna call a pulse yet.
Look at the supply, buddy.
Yeah, but it's inflated Roach supply.
Ravi. Inflated in ZvZ is not a thing, my friend. Those Roaches are they're facing Lings.
He's pretty dead.
He's the anti-inflation.
You know, I believe for a moment that if enough Lings came out, he could just get us around with them, but then all of his Lings died on the banelings. So
2012 Jeff would be right there with you, but I've seen this all before. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen again, and that's it. The fact that Snute's in here fighting for the 2 seconds we're talking about this is silly. And seriously, maybe Zombie Grub out here would... No.
She would. She would be like, what are you saying?
Today, it's going to be a straight shooter broadcast. The thing is, here's the thing. In ZvZ, it just sometimes happens that way. There is actually no micro in the world. Actually, okay, there is. If 16 banelings hit dead center in the moved command army of Namshar, yes, they could kill that wave. And then even then, the follow-up roaches and lings would still maybe kill Snute. But as Namshar is, of course, not going to let that happen and not turn out that way. And there's just nothing, you know. You actually pointed out, you said Spire without Roach Warren. Okay, if you give that guy 2 or 3 more minutes, that's an amazing strategy. But if you don't, no chance.
Yeah, and it's difficult because even, yes, if Snute manages to hold on there, just barely, but he still takes a lot of losses, it's still not a good position because he's used so much gas on those banelings that he can't really make a massive flood of the mutas. It's also incredibly obvious at that point. It's like, my opponent didn't have roaches. He had like 20 lings and like 30 banelings or something. Clearly you're making mutas. Like there's nothing else you would be going for.
Well, he would lose the third. I mean, we don't need to go too far down this imaginary lane, but also Namshar was never going to let up because it was a pre-layer slow roach, ling, baneling all in, and that's not the kind of thing. I mean, you could do the massive damage you talked about, and I guess if like 6 spines go down, you're like, okay, well, I guess I can't keep killing them, but I did enough damage to win later. That's the only scenario where you pull off the gas. Otherwise, it's just lings and roaches forever until they die. And that leads us to here, where it's 1 apiece each. Namshar able to, and again, it's been fairly straightforward, right? Snute hits a timing attack in the first game that just absolutely obliterates Namshar. Namshar gets lucky, because I don't even think he scouted that Spire, catches Snute with his pants completely down, and wins game 2. So here we are in game 3.
All right, spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of Dreamcatcher, we have our red Zerg player. It is Namshar, who went for the pool first opening in the last game. This game, he's going to be up against a fairly early gas pool opening from this guy. Down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map, it is the blue Zerg player from Team Liquid. It's Snute.
And this is the early pool I like. So this will be, if not a Baneling Nest, then certainly speed. But he's coming up on that 100 gas, so we'll have to see. I think it's going to be speed followed by a Baneling Nest. Might be a real big timing attack here. Still no spawning pool for Namshar.
Oh man, yeah, he's going hatch gas pool. At least he doesn't drone up even further, but that's still probably one of the latest pools you could go for now. Of course, you were talking about how there is the chance he could be going for that Baneling Nest.
He's doing it.
Yeah, there's Zerg speed, not getting that hatchery up right now.
He is going to rip roar it and say, game 3, my friend, is going to be a 3-minute or less game, one way or another. All right, here he comes. He's not even trying to hide it. I think I would circle around, personally. I would circle around.
It's always interesting because, like, even if you see the lings, you don't know if there's a Baneling Nest yet. So he still has a little bit of time before the Overlord scouts out and sees, oh, there's no natural.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world.
No. And I think if you were to pull Snute aside and ask him, he would say that too. He's like, "What? This is a build to counter an opening." And he think he got the opening he wants. Queen's queued up here. Drone's gonna be pulled. They're just gonna try to buy time. If the Queens can step out, they are the counter to the Lings and the Banelings. That'll be the only way that Namshar's able to answer for this. He'll have his own Lings coming out here as well, and a Spine Crawler.
Okay.
But 2 Banelings already being morphed. 3 even.
3 of them, yep. A couple of these drones are already taking some damage. He's able to save 1 of them. It's getting a little bit dicey, though, with the Banelings starting to come forward.
Yep, they're waddling forward, and those connects from last game cannot happen here. Now the Spine Crawler just get canceled out. A few drones die and some Lings, but there's just so much. Now speed kicks in, and they're going to get the jump on the Queens. And even now, the Queens would have been an answer, but with the Banelings, not so much.
Yeah, and now with the Queens just immediately getting surrounded, they never really get to pool up with the Lings together. It's just individual units popping out and trying to fight on their own, and that just does not work in this game. Baneling almost gets a connection on all of the drones, but I think at this point, it's not really going to matter too much.
Not so much. 12 army supply and 13 drones to just the 9.
Yeah.
But it's going to get worse. More Banelings waddling back and forth. Namshar's just going to hold on as best as he can, because this is game 3, but sometimes even the best that you can do is not good enough.
All right, and as he falls down to his 0 drone count, Snute is going to be taking a 2-0. I mean, Namshar what is his 1 supply? He has 2 Lings. All right, GG.
Snute with the slight upset here. We don't get to call it like the biggest of deals. Namshar's been hot, but as you pointed out, it's been a couple months since the last Challenger season, which was the one that Namshar kind of had that big result, taking a map off of Serral, but also taking second place, I believe it was.
Yeah, getting to the grand finals of WCS Challenger.
Not bad. But that was then. This is now. And Snute, even in his melancholy and emotive state, he's able to get this first win, which is really nice. He'll most likely be facing against a Laser, but that allows him to simplify the group down to one more good-ish ZvZ.
Yeah, very, very solid result there from Snute. You know, it's so weird to ever talk about Snute as like, oh, you know, not exactly a true underdog, but still like a little bit underdog. I'm like, he's still getting round of 16 finishes and stuff, but it is something that I think Snute's going to feel good about because, again, he really wasn't feeling very confident moving in today. That is, of course, typical Snute, but at the same time, seems like it's always a little bit telling when someone says a particular matchup is causing problems.
Yes and no.
Yes.
It's just that Snute, like, it's so funny because just before it flashes, he's won $375,000, and he's just been year in, year out, top 5 non-Korean, always getting those results. Like you said, his worst results will be a round of 16 or one tournament he'll have a bad loss. Anyways, that's Snute. He wins the series against Namshar 2-1, which does bring up this next one, a Laser Stefano. And I know I've been the cooler here saying Stefano has no chance, but it still is Stefano, some of the best micro you can see. And as Ravi said earlier, he's known about this group for a while. That's been kind of the nice thing. He's known about a Laser for a while. Hopefully, he's cooked up something good.
All right, we'll see you guys in a little bit with a Laser versus Stefano.